Hey everyone, I'm Rather Coherent, and today we're back into XCOM 2 with our first terror mission of the campaign. We're going to be bringing basically a squad of just squaddies. We have our skirmisher here who we just got, Blind Alpha's been on a couple of missions as our marksman, and everyone else was just given their class for this mission. We have Shrapnel Flurry, our combat engineer, Rogue Wallaby, our sapper, Hidden Cube, our other sapper, Stone Invader, our field medic, Wayward Traveler, our assault, and Gothic Toaster, our marine. Their aim is a little bit higher than it would be for this point in the campaign because we are aim stacking on them, but we only just gotten started with that. They're still basically a normal marine. And unfortunately, we didn't start with skirmishers. We started with Templars, and the Chosen, who is weak to Templars guaranteed, will be showing up in this mission. My Templar is unfortunately busy on an infiltration mission. And in editing, I thought I had made a mistake that I should have sent less people, for instance, cut the Templar from the group, so that I could over-infiltrate the mission and remove a negative sitrep. That's not actually possible. That's not how Covert Infiltration works. You can only remove the risk sitrep that appears in the bottom right. The ones on the left are actually always going to be there. So the mission was always going to be Psionic Storm. There's going to be tons of sectoids there. And I actually did need to send my Templar on this mission. It's just unfortunate. So, let's get into it. Let's go see how our first terror mission goes. Do we have flashbangs? We have one on our sniper, and I'm guessing one on our medic. Yep. Let's get into it. That's good enough for me. I think this should be fine. I'm obviously not happy about having a squaddies-only terror mission, but that's not that far off of what you expect to be using. Alright, the good news is that even though we don't start with concealment, since we do have a sniper on the squad, they have individual concealment. So I can run him forward to try to get eyes on whatever is going on in the mission, and keep the rest of us safe on this first turn.
Got it.
This looks like the furthest generally forward I can do.
Got a group of hostiles over here.
Only 2 troopers, huh? This is a thing I've experienced in the first terror mission, on terror missions in general. There seem to be static groups of small numbers of units just thrown around. I've had no idea how to adjust that, so I'm just accepting that that's how it is. I wonder why I can't see them from here. Oh, the tree must be blocking vision, that's what it is. But that means it is a safe spot to move, and it's likely going to be where we're fighting, so I want my marine in this position. The XCOM voice pack cracks me up, I'm not going to lie. And it looks like this is one tile too far back to actually pop them. I should have put my skirmisher there, that was a mistake. Why isn't this vision? It says it's not, and I'm just going to trust that it isn't, but I don't know why it isn't. Oh, I can't step out left because the elevation changed. I'm only able to see this way. And it looks like maybe the angle is just slight enough that I can't see by stepping out to the right. No, that's not it, because I don't pull from here either. Which doesn't make any sense, because this location should step out to here and see them. XCOM 2 line of sight is a mystery to me. I just trust the indicators.
Got it covered.
And the indicators don't lie, it's just like you might miss them sometimes.
Roger that.
Well, very rarely they do lie. But the point is that most of the time, the indicators are accurate. This last position's a bit hard to get to. Like, I could move further left, but I have no proof that's a safe location. There could just be an enemy pod over here, and I'd pull that, and everyone would be flanked. I guess I'm just gonna move here, because it's as far up in cover as I can get in Overwatch.
I'm on it.
Alright, let's see who our Chosen is. Not the Assassin, come on. Alright, Hunter. I honestly don't know which one's the worst in the early game. I feel like Hunter is probably the easiest, even though they're all pretty bad. He's weak to explosives, which is great news for our team. As far as his strengths go, missing will give him shielding. Let's hope that the resistance doesn't miss him too much, and he's got defense increased after the first attack in every turn with low profile. Those two together seem like they could be annoying, but really they are not particularly bad strengths. Shell Shocked is great for us, though. Absolutely fantastic. Also, there was a Stun Lancer pod at 3 back there.
Chosen. This mission just got a little more dangerous. Stay on top of its position and try to take it out.
Oh, I don't think I've actually had shotguns in a real mission to talk about it. All shotguns have built-in stocks. They deal 1 damage when they miss. Alright, let's see what this pod is. Heavy, 2 troopers, and an officer. Alright, it's bad to be pinched like this, but honestly, it could be a lot worse. There's only 2 troopers on 1 flank. That should be easy to deal with. Neither of these pods have sectoids in them, so I just need to be in cover. I'm not at risk of getting mind control just by being engaged. Man, that is a questionable cover position. I'm not so sure about it. Alright, so that trooper that just got hit is able to be killed with a shotgun blast, even if it misses, because they're down to 1 HP. So that's very helpful for us.
I'll give you a sporting chance.
The other one is right here. Do I have an assault? I'm pretty sure I do. Yes. Slash is not going to be a guarantee, though. It's only an 88 to hit. If I use running gun now, it's the very first turn. I might actually get to use it a second time. The real important thing, though, is this flank has to be dealt with. I can't leave that up. And if I'm not killing it with this character, I don't have any backup plan. There's no one else with a remotely good shot, so it's got to be this as our first move. Still a 2% chance for this to go terribly wrong, though. Alright, thank God. Now, I believe you have someone with a shotgun on the right side who's horribly out of position. Yeah, this is my sapper. I can move them up to here. They'll be in cover versus everyone and have a line of sight on that trooper, which is perfect. Can't really think of a more efficient way to use this character's turn. And now it's just us versus the pod on the left.
There you go. I suppose that's why the elders want you back on the tactical side, Commander.
So I've been thinking about what to do with my sniper for a bit. They aren't braced, so they can't actually shoot anything over here, even if they were in line of sight, which it turns out they aren't. I think I'm just running here to continue scouting with them. It's only a pod of 4. I don't need to break my sniper's concealment for this. I want to keep looking further into the map. Alright, we've got our combat engineer here. We're sort of strapped for cover actually facing them. If either of these turn out to be a faceless, it gets real messy for us, but I think we have to accept that risk. The bigger issue is that if we take cover inside, they can easily run up to these fences and hit us. So, where is my second sapper? Apparently we need to destroy some cover for anything to be safe. Alright, we're never destroying that cover this round. We might be rotating around the plane, actually. Oh, there's actually a resistance member in the full cover here. I didn't even notice them. Yeah, we just have to rotate around the plane then. We can't take positions on this side. There are too many random civilians on our cover. Too many flanking positions for what cover there is. So what we need to do is we need to split up with some people in the full cover down here to make their position incredibly awkward and start navigating the rest of our members around the plane. The only place my skirmisher can get to of any relevance is going to be this location here, so I'm moving him to this piece of full cover. My sapper can't quite make the next piece of full cover, so I think I'll be moving him to this location. Somebody does want to be down here. A combat engineer seems like a great choice. I've got multiples of them. One's already on the other side waiting, I think. Wait, no, that's not true. We've got 2 sappers. I've only got 1 combat engineer. Still, though, this is a good position for a combat engineer to be in. I'm comfortable with them being here.
Affirmative.
Field medic just wants to be moving around with everyone else.
Getting it done.
And the Marine would really want to be in this position, but can't. Line of sight behind this cactus is just absolutely terrible because of the half cover right here. The elevation change is causing it to block line of sight. You really can't see anything from down here, so it's not a good position. But I could get on this side of it. There shouldn't be a flank from here because full cover would block. This should actually be a good position. Zone suppression on both of these would not be a bad call. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's quickly change our fire discipline up to 66%. I don't want to be wasting shots. My gun only has enough to shoot twice anyway. Oh, the second one on the left didn't actually get suppressed. Well, I feel a little bit conned. Well, that's unfortunate for the civilians. I do have the civilian overhaul mod in, which is going to cause them to run around and flee and be harder to hit in general. It's also going to mean the enemy don't know if they're shooting a faceless or a civilian, though, so occasionally we'll see the Advent troopers shoot civilians and then find out they're faceless. Also, it turns out that this is the Berserker pod. As a heads up to what that means, when Bradford gives that little bit about them going out of their way to kill civilians and ignoring our troops, he's not just giving you flavor text, it's an actual mechanic. At least 1 pod, I think it's only 1 pod though, per terror mission, will always be given the like slaughterer trait, whatever it's called in the code, where they will ignore you and kill troopers a lot, or kill civilians a lot rather. Whereas normally Advent's set to kill a set number of people per turn, this pod specifically ignores that rule and just kills as many as they possibly can. So it's very important we deal with them immediately, or else we might not be able to handle this terror mission. It's good for us they spawn next to us and we're already dealing with them, but they're cross-map. They can get pretty nasty. Got a lot of stun lances around the map. Resistance is slowly dealing with them. Okay, you two look like you're begging for a rocket. It scatters 1.2 tiles on average in either direction. It looks like this means that it pretty much always hits both of them and their cover. I was going to reload first, but your second action, the rocket, is less accurate. So I don't want to reload.
Ready for the fireworks.
Let's see how this does. That was a pretty rough scatter, but it still did its job. It killed the cover and dealt chip damage. Shame no one's dead. We do have a guaranteed kill with a shotgun on that soldier. And I believe we have somebody lagging behind with a shotgun. It's you. This civilian's gone now, so I can move up and kill him guaranteed. First, let's just take some shots here, because I need to be building heat so the Ripjack starts killing people anyway. My sapper could blow this cover up as well, instead of taking the guaranteed kill here. My Marine's got 2 shots. Oh, no he doesn't, because there's no line of sight to this. That means you're the only one with this shot, so you take this shot to see if we can save the engineer the trouble. We can't. Or the sapper, rather. This is a sapper as well. Both of our sappers are still relatively to the back, which is great for us in this circumstance. I know what pieces of cover they're going to. There's 2 pieces of full cover available. Yeah, this has the guaranteed kill there, so that's getting taken every time. And then we're going to move up. Oh, I should have tried to aim with a grenade from here before to see where it would reach. I can already get a grenade where I need it. So I think the best move is actually not to move at all. And just do this. First, let's move our sniper around and get more information about what's happening. I don't quite know where that officer is, so I'm going to stay on the right side here. Alright, he's just on the back of a truck. It's not that bad. Yeah, we weren't going to be flanked by that ever during this turn. This is full cover, so I'm probably going to lose vision of the officer when I move here. I'm worried about where I can put my sniper that's not at risk of getting flanked by this officer, so for now I'm going to go back to the rest of my troops. And I'm going to take this grenade. This could kill the trooper outright, but it also just puts it in a position to be killed by my Marine. Yeah, the legs on hidden cube are going a bit crazy. There we go, that fixed them. Alright, hidden cube, please take out this one that no one else can see. Next we'll go to my Marine and take out the one we just destroyed the cover of. Probably, at least. Alright, good. That means we can reload our gun and keep doing our job as a Marine. I might change that Exalt voice back. As much as I like the idea, it's just quite loud. The officer shouldn't really be a threat alone. Let's preview his movement, see what he's likely to do. I think he's probably going to run for the next pod. I'm going to move to here. The only way he sees this is if he runs to this location. Anything else, he wouldn't, because these tanks are breaking up vision pretty good. Let's see where our assault needs to go. He can't go to the high cover here, which is unfortunate, but he can go to this high cover, which is a pile of tires? Yeah. And I could shoot here, but I also just, like, can't safely stay here, because he can definitely move to a flank position, can't he? Oh, actually, he cannot. He can only get to here before he runs out of movement. What's my axe accuracy looking like? Not great. That makes sense. I think I just Overwatch to try to get him when he flees to get help. And if he does run for something in this direction towards my sniper, I can put my medic in a position to Overwatch as well. I don't want to get too far forward with these last 2 soldiers, just because if I do, I could end up being in a bad spot. Yeah, they're just trying to kill more civilians. It is their job, after all. I feel a little bit silly for overwatching them, knowing they're probably just going to keep going for civilians, but there was a good chance he could have run away for another squad with his whole squad dead. Who is it this time? The medic. I appreciate the effort. I'm not sure how we deal with this guy this turn unless the assault can get to him. Good job, resistance. There's just a lot of resistance soldiers around, aren't there?
There's a large group of civilians pinned down within range of...
I think they're fine, honestly. They're holding their own.
Forces are closing in fast. We need to get in there before the...
So you might notice that Advent's not really killing a lot of civilians so far during their turn. It's really just been this pod. That's because whatever metric it is, when they see that they're at like 3 turns in, 3 civilians killed, they're like, whoa, we don't need to kill anyone. It's not just kill 1 person per turn. They're trying to get up to an expected amount of kills per turn with a little bit of variance built in. So this pod pushing them ahead is actually resulting in everyone else not killing civilians, I think. Alright, we have no clean way to deal with this officer unless the assault can do it. He can get the shadiest, most unsafe flank of all time. But it's actually a pretty much guaranteed kill, I think. Let's take a look at it. Because if he can't get this kill, I'm just going to be moving him somewhere around here and seeing what he can do. But I can throw my axe and then shoot him. They're both only in the 80s. I need a grenade to feel like it's safe. And my Marines' grenades are distinctly less important than everyone else's. So let's move Gothic Toaster up and see if they can't get a grenade just to that officer. Now this does not bode well for Alessia there, but it does bode well for us, so I'm doing it. The unfortunate thing here is that even though I can probably kill with this 83, there's a 17% chance that I need to throw the axe. So I've got to throw the axe, even though it's a free action and it feels super wasteful. That's not true. I have this combat engineer who could throw another grenade because I high rolled the damage. Or this sapper, or even my medic. I have plenty of other people who can throw grenades, and I think the axe is more valuable than a grenade. So I'm going to take this shot. Well, that is precisely the situation I was talking about, but we ran the numbers, it was safe. This is a sapper. They've still got 3 grenades though, so I'm going to go ahead and take this shot on them. There goes the loot, unfortunately. But I'm not that beat up about losing loot. I'm really more concerned about possibly pulling multiple pods alongside the Chosen later, because we've seen several pods out there on the other side of the map.
Rid of those guys first too. The resistance team is in the clear. They're moving to help the other survivors.
Wait, did they move right before the truck exploded? Or the tank, rather? No, it was just hanging on that. I think here I'm just going to move up to where those two are. I'm not going to move any further for fear of pulling. I'm going to move up here and reload the gun on the skirmisher because they shoot very, very often. The medic has to move up. I would want them here, I think. Right now we actually don't have line of sight down that path. I can move them around to the back of this. And that would get them less likely to pull pods that no one else is seeing, which is what I want. Which just leaves my marksman and my last sapper. I'll move Rogue Wallaby up on the left side. It feels like we're doing very good for time. And this will just, again, avoid pulling any extra pods. And we'll keep scouting around with our sniper. For now, we're going to sprint down here.
Roger that.
And hopefully we'll see something. If not, that's still good. Alright, we see a stun lancer and 2 troopers there. It looks like we're seeing just a lot of those terror pods that are small numbers of troopers scattered around. Oh, what pulled you? I'm not so sure I know why that one pulled, but that tends to happen in terror missions. And now that we're going into our 4th turn with only 3 civilians killed, you can see Advent continuing to take shots at him. Little does he know, that's the person I want to move the most. Alright, 2 more damage on an Advent trooper. They're slowly chipping them down. They're just doing better than they usually do by quite a margin. I feel like that might be a first terror mission sort of thing, though. I feel like as time goes on, they're going to stay at roughly this level of power, and it's not going to go so well versus mutons. That would have been a really nice thing to hit for us. Okay, good. The tank doesn't have like an extra large explosion radius or anything. They are inconveniently far away. I think the play this turn is just like to try to sprint into full cover as far forward as we can. Because we're on like turn 4 or 5 still in the back corner of the map. The problem is there's really not that much full cover to be sprinting towards. There is enough, it looks like. I don't want to sprint this far up because then the stun lancer could come for us. But I do have to move up somewhere uncomfortable with this character. On my marksman, I'm going to move backwards and start checking out this area. I might move my assault to this location if it's safe for him. So it's looking like this is outside the range of the tracking shot. It's not a good spot for pushing forward and flanking, unfortunately. I'm going to move here and hunker instead. I think that's better. It's just not a good place for the assault to be for that other location. And on these characters, I think we're just moving as far forward as we can because they are so far back compared to where they need to be. And that still leaves us without enough full cover to go around. Also, that was my Discord, not yours. I need to turn that off. I think we're so far apart that moving here isn't flankable. I might just move my skirmisher here with the intent of using them to fight later. I could also move here knowing that I probably won't see anything because the line of sight is so bad. It's further back, less likely to get caught, still helps fight if somebody comes from this way. I'm going to move here and be surprised when he gets shot. I do legitimately think that he's out of range to be flanked. We're just so far apart. We're at maximum distance from each other for actually being engaged. Alright, the stun lancer is going for shots on random cities in the bus, it looks like. Well, there goes Benjamin. A whole lot of missed shots other than him, though. Alright, I spoke too soon. Alright, let's see what the hunter's doing. Just another tracking shot, it seems. Oh, a trooper went down. Good job, Resistance. The Resistance is just, like, surprisingly capable against basic Advent, which is something I kind of like thematically. Balance-wise, I don't know. We'll see how it goes in future months, but in terms of thematics, I like that basic Advent can't just kill the Resistance unmitigated. Huh. Oh, I thought he was flanking. Never mind. Alright, the tracking shot over here on Guilty Chimera really is not a big deal. We can stay right here and just move over if we wanted to. We'll talk about that later in the turn. For now, we need to figure out our chances of dealing with these troopers in the back, and I can't even see them at the minute, making this much more complicated. I'm going to move up to this full cover and see what's going on. Alright, the other trooper's still missing. I think he's just in the same area, slightly further back. Theoretically, 2 shotgun shots could kill one of these guys and a grenade the other. But do I actually have a line of sight with multiple shotguns? Like, where even are they? I've got 2 on this, and 1 here, I think. If I'm willing to stand in the open, I could get it, but, like, unfortunately, there is another one further back. I'm not fully solving the problem. To clarify, this is the only location I can find where I'm able to see the second enemy. Everything else is just out of range. I could take the shot here and see how it goes. We don't actually have good things to kill this turn. A part of me wants to just, like, move here and check these people for faceless status. Oh, wait a second. I forgot about our sit rep. These people don't have circles around them, but these do, which I think means that these are resistance contacts. I can't check it without triggering the hunter, unfortunately. But we do have the sitrep resistance contacts, where if I go up to civilians in the area with the little circles around them, I will save them and they'll give me something, which is something worth doing, but I don't actually have the ability to check very much right now. I can check with this person, provided they're not a faceless. And Guilty Bear is pretty out of the way anyway. Yeah, no, that's just saving them. That's roughly what I thought was happening, but why don't these guys have circles around them? And how do I tell which ones are the ones from the sitrep then? Maybe they'll have bigger or differently colored circles around them. Suddenly I'm suspicious that all 3 of these are faces, but I know that's not possible. I think it's just because they're a set piece involving the truck they don't have circles. I'm afraid to move here for triggering the Chosen, but I don't have much alternative option in terms of decent cover to put him in. Which brings us back to the problem with the Stun Lancer. I do have the solution to the Stun Lancer. I can just run the medic up and chunk a grenade on him. The medic not having a grenade to deal with the Chosen is fine. I would like to have 1 grenade on everyone, but it's wholly unnecessary. Is there a way on top of the bus? Yeah, there's a ladder. In that case, I'm starting moving forward and trying to get on top of the bus to brace. Looks safe so far. There's no corner cover here, so I'm just going to take the high cover. How close do you have to get to a faceless to trigger it? Would these tires trigger a faceless if it was one of these 3? Alright, this grenade is happening every time. I want to stop tapping to my medic. I am always throwing the grenade at the Stun Lancer. I might want the cover he's on, though. That cover seems beneficial to me, so I don't want to blow it up. Wait. Well, we got some of his cover. We saved a little bit of it. I think my assault just keeps moving forward, even though it's not into high cover. No, there is high cover. Well, then scratch that. Keeps moving forward into high cover. God, I really want to move here, but almost certainly someone on this bus is a faceless, right? If I knew the radius for what a faceless popped at, this would be fine, but I don't.
Rolling.
The trooper could move towards this. In fact, the other trooper can also move towards this. I don't think they're going to move towards this, just based on how they've been behaving. What I'm going to do is I'm going to overwatch with 2 shotguns, so if the closer one moves towards us, we just kill him outright. I would much rather be putting my Marine here, but it just doesn't seem like a real option. And I'll move here and overwatch with my last shotgun. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how wrong I am about the Advent movement patterns. Good job, Advent. You managed to destroy the loot that I wanted. And your teammates. Huh. So they can move into vision exactly without pulling an Overwatch, is something I just learned. That's quite frustrating. I would never have killed him anyway, because he only moved into vision of one of the people with shotguns. Apparently we're chipping the Chosen, and he's going to be active now, so that's terrifying for us.
Being 2 steps ahead of everyone, Commander. I was almost hoping we wouldn't be having this little chat today.
If you could just, like, not kill us, that would be great. I was under the impression you weren't going to be active this turn.
That's the Elder's Hunter.
Okay, thank you.
He's a relentless tracker with an unnatural ability to call his shots.
Oh, thought you could hide, eh?
No. No, not really, Hunter. I didn't think I could hide. I've been trying very hard to push towards you and kill everyone. Is that bus explodable? Because how much bus is even left, really? It's still mostly intact, not even smoking. Generally speaking, I've been pretty impressed by the Resistance. They just seem a lot more capable with the Resistance Overhaul mod. I think it's called Militia Overhaul. I'm not 100% on that. I was going to be kind of sad if we dealt with that guy, considering all the grief he's been giving us. Okay, my tracking shot is on who again? That's fine. The issue is that I'm no longer safe here, because if the hunter's active, he can just get line of sight on this and kill somebody. This should be blocking view from the top, and I don't think he's just going to drop down and shoot at us. First things first, let's finish off this engagement. This should be an easy solution to one of our problems. Don't 2% me. Even if he does, I have someone else with a shotgun who can get in line of sight, so it's fine. Okay, next up we have a trooper who's still on the flank, which is incredibly awkward for us. I need to be pulling Gothic Toaster this way no matter what, so that I can have her deal with the Chosen. I just want her to be suppressing that guy every single turn if she can. Let's take our first move here. See if any of these civilians are still hanging out are faceless, and yes, they are. Okay, that's not good, but it's better to find out now than later. So, let's get working on this big pile of health points. I would like to move this character this way. Is there line of sight from this location? No. No matter where I'm taking cover, they can't see me down here. It still doesn't feel like a safe place to be, but we need to be moving up to use point blank, and just to get closer to the Chosen. Thank God for point blank. It sorted that situation out a lot faster than I expected it to be. I'm going to move up here and brace on my sniper, finally get them involved in combat since we've scouted basically everything at this point. You can see the Chosen on the second floor window. Now, I think there are still pods back here somewhere that I really don't know the location of. I can move my skirmisher all the way to here. Seems like the thing to be doing.
A great distance.
It looks like there are spots on the roof that could see the back of this cactus, so I can't be there. What I can do is just move up to this location and use one of my flashbangs on this trooper to minimize the threat that he poses for the one turn he has left alive.
You're not much for subtlety.
Honestly, flashbangs are among the subtler options that XCOM has. Alright, this has a flank shot with a shotgun. It's pretty far, though. It is 45 to kill. It's worth doing, because even if I miss, it'll chip him down for an assault rifle kill later. Alright, all we have left is Rogue Wallaby. Gonna try to get her closer to everyone else. I'm not in range of the building with my grenades yet, but that's acceptable. I don't want to be any closer to this. In fact, I don't like where I am already, because the hunter could throw his stun grenade and hit all of these people. I don't want to pull back to here, but I'm going to.
I hope it's worth it.
I just need to split up a little bit more than I currently am. And even doing that might be wrong, because now I'm so far away that I can't pick them up if they do get stunned. Just feels like a very nasty situation trying to push towards the Chosen in this map. Well, you're flanked, but he's also disoriented. Eh, whatever. I tried to save them. Well, I tried to save myself and, incidentally, him.
This one's for you.
That's embarrassing, Hunter. So right now the Hunter has more health than he started with, which isn't what I want to see. But he also hasn't killed anyone. I believe the odds are like 10% chance anytime he shoots a sniper rifle through full cover to crit you. Yeah, it's like 45 to hit and then 25 to crit. Please don't shoot at the Hunter if you have less than a 50% chance resistance. You're making it worse. The resistance felt so confident at first, and now they really, really do not. Oh, guys, come on. It was going so well. Okay, my assault has no flank to worry about out here because there's nothing to grapple to, so I can move the assault here, see what my odds are looking like. He's in guaranteed kill range to a grenade. I've got Shrapnel Flurry here, who hasn't used any grenades, so I won't be using my axe this time either. Easy.
All weapons spent.
Alright, I can see the hunter from where I am. Unfortunately, I can't really hit him from where I am. I'm gonna move my medic up basically to scout with them at this point because I can't see what's going on very well. We need to get these explosives in range of the Chosen, and there are not very clean ways to do so. There is high cover scattered on the map that we can sprint to. So let's focus on getting these sappers and combat engineers closer to the hunter. So this round, I'm going to move up to this half cover and then suppress. Next round, I'll move into the high cover inside the bus and suppress. Still no shot here, unfortunately. My high ground position here isn't actually helpful if there's no one in vision of it anywhere. Moving to here gets me spotted by the hunter, which is unfortunate because I'll lose my concealment and potentially pull pods from over here. So I think I'm just going to be going into Overwatch with this sniper rifle, which is always a sad thing. I can sprint up into this central safe position here with my skirmisher this round. Just get him out of the way and moving forward. Last up, we have Hidden Cube and Rogue Wallaby, our sappers, and also the most important people in the mission, by virtue of that role. These moves should be safe for Rogue Wallaby. And I can put my other sapper in the other position at the front of the bus.
Location confirmed.
Alright. We've gotten everyone moved up as far as we can, except for Stone Invader, apparently. Overwatch here doesn't really feel like it does anything. But I'm gonna be overwatching anyway. Yeah, I could have shot that guy. I didn't, but I could have, theoretically speaking. Okay, the Chosen's moving. Not in the position I thought he'd be going to. Wait, is that really where you're go- excuse me, Hunter, is that where you're ending your turn? Oh no. That's not where he was supposed to go. That is not a good spot. There's a lot of Advent troopers in this building. I think we got 3 troopers and a stun lancer.
Starting to get cooked.
The most dangerous game.
Run and gun is not on this character. You're not the assault. Run and gun is back up, but my shotgun is empty and I'm too far away for it to matter. So I think it's just move and reload on the assault, and he cannot meaningfully participate this round. He's just so far away. Which is unfortunate, but it is how it is.
Good to go.
This is why one of my goals throughout this campaign is to stack huge amounts of mobility on an assault. Other good goals would include finding any sort of magazine attachments. Okay, so we have to shoot this barrel next to the Chosen, but we may as well be throwing a grenade at it instead. This side of the bus is horrifically unsafe because of all the admin in the back. Even though, like, it feels as though we're able to fight the hunter really well, all the troopers packed into this building really makes that untrue. Also, what I've learned is that fire discipline 66% at this rank literally doesn't go off. So let's drop that down to 33. We can throw our frag here. It's definitely a thing that's good to do, but we probably still have to suppress on this character. Actually, no, we don't want to shoot. We want to keep the suppression debuff. So it's better to not fire, because we don't have any perks that make it continue to do its job after firing at this level. God, the cover here is terrible. We're just not close enough to the building to push in. Okay, I'm going to toss a defensive mine out right now. So if the Advent Trooper runs up, or the Stun Lancer rather, through this direction, if I fail to deal with him, this will deal 4 to 5 to him and kill him. Oh, nice. Who are we talking about? Okay, these 2 troopers in the back. I thought they were already active, to be honest. I've got to deal with this Stun Lancer, unfortunately. I can't ignore him. The walls of this building feel like they're kind of more of a suggestion than actually there. And I think it's time to make that official. The Stun Lancer needs to be dead. That means his cover has to go. And this will get us firing lines into the rest of the troopers in that building. No matter how much I want to kill the Chosen, the, like, 4 guys in this building are priority number 1. How are you doing on lines of fire? Well, if it's all you got, it's all you've got. It is objectively better to shoot the pistol, I guess. Yeah, I can shoot the pistol and then throw a flashbang afterwards. Or a normal grenade if I'm somehow in range. Why did I think I have, Marauder, or whatever it's called, that lets you shoot the pistol as your first action? Just used to other characters, I guess. Well, it still saves a bullet on the sniper rifle, it's still better. Shrapnel Flurry can move up to here. I don't think our flamethrower has any meaningful reach from here, unfortunately. Nor does my grenade. But I do have a chip kill on this stun lancer. Thank God for inbuilt stocks. Now, I do think I want to move my Marine to here this turn. Just get her in a position of full cover, because if I'm trying to maintain line of sight the whole time to the Chosen, I would like to not be in half cover. Maybe it's okay to be here, though. Because he's probably going to go up and break line of sight entirely. I'm going to reload and suppress him. I think he's going to go to the top of a building where I can't even hit him to begin with. Am I in range for Ripjack strikes on these guys? I am, but I have no heat, unfortunately, so I'm not even guaranteed to kill. There's not really cover to flank this line with, so this is actually kind of safe. And it's already a position I'm in if the Hunter goes up and fires at us. You don't have line of sight from here. That is a travesty. I can grapple back up to the top of the bus and get flanked to death by the Chosen, I guess, so it's not that good. There's a lot of grapple positions, but none of them seem to help me at all. It's just such an awkward spot because of this bus. The cover on this whole map has just not been working well for me. I'm gonna move rogue while I'll be up. I can use a grenade here, seems like the thing to do. Way better than a 67% against kinetic plating. I wanted to deal with these troopers inside the bus, or inside the building rather, but the bus is just so in the way that I haven't been able to make it happen.
Getting desperate.
I mean, not really. Frustrated, maybe, not desperate. All I can do here is Overwatch. I've got nothing else to do on my skirmisher, unfortunately. Yeah, that's about the accuracy I was expecting. Also, all that shit I was talking about them not having good flank shots. I just did not actually look one location further and realize how many flank shots they did have. Thankfully, they didn't go for me. I thought they were shooting Guilty Mirror, but it looks like they just killed the random person next to him. Alright, this is a position I was aware of and worried about, but not immediately a problem. No one's flanked from here. I was paying attention to this one.
Try this one out.
Still going for Sibs, huh? Okay. Alright, that's guaranteed kill with shotgun chips if I have to. It's not action efficient, but it does make sure it happens.
How many people have died protecting you?
I think this might be the last turn. I might be able to handle both of these troopers and the Hunter. I'm definitely going to be moving Rogue Wallaby out to here in case someone else needs the position that he's in. And that gets me the angle for this grenade. Come on, how is you... There we go. This should blow out the top floor that he's on, deal a huge amount of damage to him in addition to fall damage, and then someone else will take a second grenade on the second story to finish him off. Alright, that plan looks like it is indeed going to work. Who do I have for the second grenade? This Marine seems like a great candidate. I'm going to move forward to here. It's the closest position I've got, the one that's most likely to have a good grenade line. And that should be the kill on the Chosen. Had a sketchy turn there. There was a lot that last turn could have gone wrong. I don't think there was a chance to kill, because even a crit on a trooper is only 4. So they'd have to have gotten 2 flank crits on somebody without me knowing. The bigger fear would be random crits from the Hunter through cover.
It's time for a tactical retreat. But we'll see each other again real soon.
I'm sure
All right.
we'll see them again, but that Chosen sure
72, huh?
expecting the fight we put up today.
Didn't really do anything except for scout the whole map, and honestly, scouting the whole map is enough. He picked up a kill. He did something. Right at the end. I never did throw the axe, sadly. Anyway, this last guy is comically dead. I have so many actions and explosives left for him.
-15, you secured the
The downside of not having any sort of armor or bullets is that I don't have any sort of armor or bullets. But the upside is that I have a whole shitload of grenades. 17 members of Advent, scattered across so many separate pods. That was pretty manageable, to be honest. I didn't get that close to losing at the end. I never really felt too pressured for time. I feel like with better cover, that would have actually been easy. I think a big part of that's the militia overhaul really taking some pressure off of me. And I think that's going to kind of stop being a thing as the campaign goes on and they get out-teched by the aliens. So unfortunately, I just clicked past it again. I forgot to check the stats breakdown. I really would have liked to on that mission. And there aren't auto-saves to that mission for whatever reason. The game just wasn't making them that time. So since I don't have the ability to check it, we'll have to do without this time. Successful shot percentage 71% is pretty nice. So, how many promotions came out of this? Not that many, to be honest. Blind Alpha, Hidden Cube, Stolen Invader. My Sapper, Combat Engineer, and Skirmisher didn't get promoted. Let's go see what the last ones look like. We did get some supplies, a basic foregrip, some corpses, and a rescued civilian. The Faces Autopsy allows us to go for Mimic Beacons. Although I'm not too sure how good Mimic Beacons are in my current version of the game. And it looks like now that we've done that terror mission, we can get started on resistance communications and progress towards our real goals on the tech tree. Okay, it looks like both of the people who weren't on that stream did end up getting promoted. We have 5 promotions on that mission. So let's go take a look at what everyone's going to be getting. For corporal rank on assaults, you get 3 options that give you very different things. You can take prep for entry. That'll be a free action skill that makes the next grenade throw not cost an action, but it'll reduce the range by 50%. You can get Zone of Control that just increases the radius of your CQB dominance by 1 tile, but it also causes the enemies there to suffer penalties to aim and mobility, which seems like honestly the bigger deal. Makes them much harder to reposition on you, makes you much safer in a lot of positions, so that's very cool and all, but Honed Edge gives you 15% chance to hit and 15% chance to crit, and suddenly Slash is guaranteed damage and it changes the way the character works tremendously, and it's the reason I like Assault so much in this version of the game. These are both very cool skills, so if they were competing against something weaker, they might get picked, but not against Honed Edge. Even though melee is inherently risky, when it's guaranteed to hit, it's a lot less risky. Coming over to Hidden Cube, your Sappers at Corporal will get some form of tankiness. You can always take Blast Padding, which gives you a point of armor and 66% less damage from explosives. You can take Entrenched at the bottom. If you're in full cover and you take damage, it's reduced by 2 and it can't crit. That's just very nice in general. And Skirmisher's the odd one out. You get +1 mobility, and for every tile you've moved up to a max of 10 tiles, you get 2.5% chance to dodge, up to 25% chance to dodge. Or turn it into a graze, rather, which is similar in effect to dodging. Personally, I always go with Blast Padding here. I can't guarantee that he'll be moving. I can't guarantee that the most dangerous attacks will be coming through full cover. Blast Padding is the only one that's always active, and I frequently have to position or move in very weird ways that make the other 2 unreliable to get these grenades off. That is the Sapper's whole point on being in the team. So, that's why I'll be taking Blast Padding on pretty much every Sapper I level up. Marksman has very different options for Corporal. None of them are super strong, but they're all very interesting. Let's start with Lightweight Optics. It lets you use your sniper rifle and holo target at squad site ranges without setting up a brace. You still don't get any of the other benefits, but it lets you fire at squad site without bracing. Of course, I won't brace all the time, so even though I can, it's not the best thing in the world. Blindside is a 1-turn cooldown shot that only deals half damage, but it doesn't break their concealment. And that's very, very cool, but very frequently it's also just not a thing I need. Lead the Target is the one I will actually be taking. And the reason I'll be taking Lead the Target is a lot of the time you'll be dashing into cover, getting your brace the next turn and have 1 action left, and Lead the Target is a 1-action shot. You declare your shot this turn, but it doesn't go off until next turn, and it goes off like an Overwatch shot. It'll have a 20% increased chance to hit, and it only takes 1 action to use, and there's a lot of text going over exactly what does and doesn't affect it, because it's this weird gray zone between an attack on your part and an Overwatch shot during the enemy's turn. But generally speaking, I think Lead the Target has the most opportunities to give you new chances to deal damage as a sniper. And it's also one of the pile of abilities that help you eventually start taking a holo targeter because you have enough 1-action abilities that you no longer need the pistol. Coming over to Field Medics for Corporal rank, they have 3 different very good action economy abilities. For Fleet-Footed, they get Shadow Step and Ignore Overwatch Fire now, and they get a +5 bonus to dodge, which hardly matters, but it's there. But the big thing is it allows free actions to be used after dashing, and later in the tree you'll get things like emergency aid or rapid deployment, which will allow you to dash, ignore Overwatch, and then at the end of the dash, heal somebody or revive somebody, something like that. Coming over to the next ability, reposition. After you shoot a flanked or exposed target, you get a 2/3 movement action to reposition and get out of the open, presuming that you moved into the open to get this flank shot. This is pretty much hit and run from Long War 1. But unfortunately, as a medic, hit and run isn't nearly as valuable. Adrenaline Rush is the one that I'll be picking. It's a free action that gives you an additional non-movement action this turn, but you deal 33% less damage for the remainder of the turn. Very frequently, what I'll use Adrenaline Rush for is the same thing as Fleet-Footed. I take a dash action and then heal somebody. But it also gives me the ability to use it very, very proactively, and to move twice into a very weird position and take a flank shot. Yes, for 1/3 less damage, but very frequently a flank shot's going to be for finishing off a weakened target, somebody who's been hit with a grenade, or somebody who's just been retreating after taking some damage. There's a lot of different ways Adrenaline Rush results in getting kills that you would otherwise miss, and defensively it's almost as good as the other options anyway, which is why we'll be taking Adrenaline Rush on Stone Invader. And lastly, for Toaster or Marine, at Corporal rank, they get a couple of different options, and I think Covering Fire is the only one that makes sense. So let's start by talking about Covering Fire. Overwatch shots are now triggered by enemy actions, not just movement. And reaction shots ignore 50% of the target's defense from cover. Reaction shots also apply a -15 aim penalty to the target for 1 turn. Coming over to Sustained Fire, not Sustained Fire, to Suppressive Fire. So Suppression doesn't actually detail what its aim penalty is, but based on this line here about Covering Fire allowing it to continue, it's safe to assume that Suppression gives a -15 aim penalty, and Covering Fire makes that keep going. It also lets you ignore half their cover. It lets you take reaction shots when they just move and don't shoot. It tremendously increases your ability to control units and to do Overwatch fire, which is the main thing that a Marine does. Flush 'em Out is a shot that's really accurate and costs 2 ammo to deal 50% damage, and that's really good. And that terror mission I showed off just how valuable chip damage is. Just multiple times killing enemies with shotguns on 0% chance to hits. So Flush 'em Out is good, but I'm literally bringing the Marine for what Covering Fire does, so no matter how good Flush 'em Out is, and it is great, I can't really justify picking it. And that's the same thing I'll say about Danger Zone. It increases the width of the suppression zone by 2 tiles, and if you're using a machine gun or a cannon, it goes up by another one, and that's amazing. All of these things are things I could theoretically spend ability points on and not feel bad about. But I need Covering Fire. It's the job of the Marine to do what Covering Fire does. Alright, getting back into the Geoscape, we have the Chosen cutscene where we get introduced to all 3 of them. The Black Site has appeared, so we want to make contact with that region sooner rather than later. An Engineer is up for a scanning site, that's fantastic. And the Hunter is dominating this region. We're going to finish our Trooper Autopsy in 6 hours, which is great. We can get started on Resistance comms after that. What were we scanning before that popped up? 15 hours left on Rookies. We're going to go do that before we go to the Engineer. Rookies are way less valuable, but only 15 hours, and our troops feel so tight right now that we need to do this. But first, let's go handle that Trooper Autopsy. We can make battle scanners now, which are nice, and for characters with skills that relate to them, I'll care. That is a really good inspiration. But I don't have any priority for battle scanners at all. Inspiring Resistance comms, which are our planned next tech, is fantastic. That is so good for us. Good guess, Tygan. I would have guessed the same thing. So we get 3 Rookies for doing Rookies. That means it's worth about 120 supplies. And I have no idea what their actual names are, because I will never be calling this man Gideon goodbye in his life. In fact, I'll be renaming him to have his first and last name be the same as his code name. We've got supplies at home base, but we are 100% scanning for this Engineer. The supply drop is in 5 hours, so we're not going to make much progress on this. We'll go get the supplies before we continue with the Engineer. Is that true? We have 160 right now and not anything meaningful to spend them on. We'll probably find something to spend them on before we finish the Engineer is the point. We get 189 in that supply drop. We managed to stop 1 Retaliation, 1 Guerrilla Hubs. We did 2 Resistance Streamer investigated. We've got 5 techs done, 4 covert actions completed. Felt like we did more than that, honestly, but I guess that's all we did. For Chosen activity, we have no idea what the Assassin or the Warlock are up to, but the Hunter's on top of us in North America. And the Hunter's planning to do Retribution. He's planning on permanently lowering our income. We would like to stop that if we get the ability to. Next up, we have a tutorial for dark events and how to counter them in the strategic overhaul from Covert Infiltration. Now, every month, Advent's going to bring up to 3 dark events against you. For this month, it's going to be 1, and next month, it's going to be 2, and every month after that one, it's going to be 3 dark events. And there will be activity chains to stop each dark event separately. Each region can only help you find 1 dark event, and it's going to be random what region gets what dark event, so you need to have at least 2 or 3 regions once you get to those later months. And for now, the event they're planning is the Collectors. They double their efforts to hunt us, seeking to capture XCOM soldiers at every opportunity. Previously, they only had about a 50% chance to go for it if they could. I don't really care about this one. Generally speaking, I'm playing in a way where I'm trying very hard to get people back up the moment they've been dazed, because it's just good for action economy in general. So if this passes, it's not a big deal. I would like to stop it. Stopping it is good. But letting it slip through if I have to doesn't upset me at all. And let me think about it briefly. We don't need those rookies, that's for sure. I do think I'd go for this supply drop immediately. I can use all of this pretty instantly. First, let's check Covert Ops, because we have new ones. And yeah, they do fully reset. The new Hook the Chosen chain is going to require a sergeant to do the first one, and then you need a higher rank for each subsequent one, before you get to the final one where you actually do a big mission. It looks like there is an infiltration along the way. Clicking on the question mark at the top will give us some more information. Resistance Informants tells us how we're finding things based on the number of locations we have, and we want to get more locations to find out more. But the reason I came here is to check the actual full details of the chain. You can see it's covert action into infiltration, into covert action into assault, into covert action. So every other one's going to be a real mission. And then once you do the whole chain, it unlocks the assault. Okay. I would like to do this mission once I have the ability to, but obviously I can't yet. We've got improved combat intelligence here. I'm almost certainly going to be sending my Templar on this when he gets back, which is unfortunate, because I would like him to be on missions to stop the Hunter. But getting his combat intelligence to a higher number is very valuable. That guy has a lot of different abilities that I want to buy with additional AP, and this will help out with that a lot if I put him towards it. Getting experimental items is always nice. It's not a super high priority, and there's nothing here I'm stacking, so it's not the worst in the world. Again, basic utility is nice, not a very high priority, but it's nice. Same with alien corpses, nothing to stack. I don't care about this at all. Even if I had a scientist to put towards it, I wouldn't. Building laboratory is cheaper, it's just not important to me whatsoever. And this can get a promotion on somebody. So exhaustive trading is worth doing. Yeah, actually all of this new stuff I'm not thrilled about and don't really have any interest in, unfortunately. On the bright side though, my roster is pretty thoroughly depleted right now, so it might be for the best. This is the tutorial for aborting covert ops. The longer one's been going on, the more intel it takes to stop them. You can see there's an exfiltration cost here that's at 10, and it's going to go up every time they get further into the mission. So if you're going to send somebody, you really need to commit to sending them, otherwise it's going to end up costing you intel to take the decision back later. And I do think I'm going to go for the supply drop first. I think there's going to be a lot I want to spend supplies on soon. Maybe that's not true. I'm going to go for the engineer first. If I start spending money, I can then change my mind and go for the supplies, right? There's no reason to go for supplies first. And I think we just finished our first infiltration. We did. Which is where our Templar is currently at. So we can over-infiltrate, and if we do, we'll get bonuses to crit chance and detection radius. But the reality is, I built this squad with the intent of going immediately. Looking at the sit reps, you can see we got Psionic Storm. There's going to be a lot of sectoids on the map. High explosives, that's good for us, considering that we're going to have a hard time dealing with all these sectoids. And once they know we're there, they're going to drop in reinforcements pretty quickly thereafter. But this was our A team at the time. Honestly, it probably is on par with the team I just sent to the terror mission. I think it's perfectly reasonable to launch it now and not wait around for any bonuses at 150%. So next time we're going to watch this team try their best to get through a Psionic Storm mission, which could well be an absolute nightmare. I've been Rather Incoherent. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.